Hello, it is Direct Mail, Monday, July 22nd, 2024. Steve Sipress here, and we have a saying in the direct response marketing world. That's where you're sending out advertising or marketing, and you want to get a response directly to you based on the offer that you're making in your advertising. So that's as opposed to image advertising, which you see probably 99% of advertising, like Budweiser Super Bowl ad. There's no offer being made. It's just getting their name out there and all that kind of stuff that small businesses really cannot afford to do. And besides, it's just not effective for small business unless you have really deep pockets. You can't get into all that create warm and fuzzy feelings and hope they buy someday thing. You got to make an offer. And there's a saying, no deadline, no offer. So you can't just make an offer and think people are going to respond. You got to give them a deadline, and a corollary to that rule, you've got to make the deadline short. I mean, long enough that they have time to respond, but not too long so that they have too much time to respond, which means they just put your message aside, your email or your postcard, like I'm going to show you here, or a sales letter or whatever it is. They just put it aside and say, I'll get to it later, and then they forget all about it. So you don't want to give too long a deadline, but you don't want to give no deadline at all. So I got two examples here, and both of them I like a little, and there's some things about them that can be greatly improved to tremendously improve the return on investment. In other words, make them a lot more money, which hopefully is their goal. So maybe they're watching or listening or reading this, and they will implement what I'm about to show, and they'll make a lot more money, and hopefully you'll implement it too, and you'll make a lot more money, not only in your direct mail, but this will work in email, social media posts, ads, phone calls, networking, conversations, anything at all. You want to make an offer, have a good, short deadline so they take immediate action. And there's a few other things you want to do. So I like this one here from Dale. Now, a few things I like it. This is Dale's, my microphone's in the way. This is Dale's Hauling. And I like, most slogans are useless, but in this case, it's a good one here. You call, I haul. And since he's using the word I instead of a we, he's making this very personal to him. He's got his name in the name of the business, and right there in the headline up at the top, which he should not have the name of his company up at the top, of course. That's prime real estate. Put your name at the bottom. Use that space to get people to call, like this big red headline. You ask a good question there. Do you have the problem that I solve? Do you need to get rid of some junk in this case? Whatever the business is that you own, you have problems that you solve. That's a good headline, is, do you have the problem that I solve? And his solution is, call me. Because you call, I haul. And because he says I, he has a personal photo, I'm guessing. This is of himself. There's Dale himself. And it's the same photo on the back, although it's not cropped off, so you see more of him there. I assume, he didn't say so, but I would assume that's Dale. I actually also assume from these photos that pretty much he's the only one in the business. It's not just that it's his business. Maybe his wife does the paperwork or answer the phones, things like that. That happens a lot. Those are called ma and pa small businesses. Maybe yours is one of them. But I have a feeling this is just Dale, and this is the one truck he has. There's a photo of it. The photo of the truck with the hauling bins, and that same truck is pictured on the front. So I'm guessing he has just that one truck, and then he's got another picture of the side panel of the truck here. Where is it? There it is. Which shows his sign with his phone number on the side of the truck close up. So I'm guessing that's Dale in his one truck, which is kind of cool. Because a lot of times people like dealing with a local business because they know they can deal with the owner of the business, as opposed to, like in plumbing. They like dealing with Joe the plumber because they know, or especially if they see a photo and they talk to him on the phone and he answers when they call, they're like, wow, that's the guy who's coming to my house. That's very trustworthy and likely very skillful. Depending on the amount of time they've been in business, sometimes they'll tell you on here, been in business 20, 30 years, whatever, as opposed to calling like a Roto-Rooter where I might get an 18-year-old kid who's fresh out of plumbing school and is going to mess everything up and doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe he's been there 2 days and he'll get fired in a week. And so a lot of times people call the local small business because they want to talk directly and deal directly with the owner, the businessman himself. So I love putting a personal photo in the ad. Now, a couple of things about this. It's good. He's got phone number on the bottom where it belongs. Your name, your phone number all belong at the bottom. After first you convince them why you should call, then you tell them who you are, your name, your website, and the number, or through, in this case, call or text, it says. Then he's got his call to action here is apparently for a free estimate. That's why you should call, for a free estimate. Now, that's very weak. There's a lot better calls to action you can use. I talk about it all the time. Everyone knows that a free estimate means a free sales call. Of course, it's free. Your estimate means you're giving me a sales pitch. You're telling me this is how much I'll do it for, yes or no, or start a negotiation. But an estimate is good for the business owner, in this case Dale, I'm thinking, wakes up every day and says, I need to do some estimates. If I can do 5 estimates a day, I'll get 3 jobs a day, or whatever his numbers are. But his goal is a number of estimates. That's good for the business. For the consumer, my goal is not to get a free estimate. I didn't wake up this morning, if I have piles of junk, this says, a storage unit, a rental property, a garage clean out, yard debris, appliance removal, hoarder, house cleanups, serving homeowners, business owners, contractors, property managers, real estate agents, renters, etc. In other words, anybody that has some junk. But if I did, I have a whole bunch of junk I need to get rid of. I did not wake up this morning going, man, I really hope I get an estimate. That's what I want most of all, a free estimate. I want a sales pitch. Like, no, offer them something else. Offer them something of a lot more value to them. And I can get into all this. And if you want help with this, by the way, reach out to me, steve@stevesipress.com. Post a comment or a private message wherever you're watching, reading this, or listening to it, or go to my website, thewowstrategy.com. You get some free training there. Plus, you can get on my calendar and I'll help you out. Because every business is a little different. But when it comes to the money getting, the advertising, marketing, and sales of a business, I hate to break it to you, your business has a lot more in common with every other type of business in the world than differences. The differences are in the deliverable, in the doing of the business. Like a junk removal hauling business is different than a plastic surgeon. However, when it comes to advertising and marketing, they are so much more like those two businesses than you can imagine. And that's what I focus on. So, couple of issues here. First of all, I love this vet and senior discounts. And Dale kind of looks like he's both. Kind of looks like he's a vet and he's a senior. I mean, he's kind of standing at attention there. And I love the fact there's red, white, and blue in the whole thing. So it really appears veteran friendly, as if he is a fellow veteran. He's got red, white, and blue on his hat, which I assume is the name of his business, just like it is on the sign on the side of the truck. The whole color of the whole postcard's red, white, and blue. Everything's red, white, and blue until you get to his logo, which is still in red, and the truck is blue. But then there's some color in there for, I'm guessing, the junk. Otherwise, this whole thing is red, white, and blue, which vets love. A lot of seniors are vets. And then the main issue he's got here is where it says coupons on back. That tells me he's used this, kind of the template from a previous postcard he used. However, on this one, there are not coupons on the back. There's only one coupon on the back. So a little mispoint, not a big deal at all. But if you're looking for coupons, you're only going to find one. And you see the dotted line around that offer. There's the offer, 15% off. However, it's violating the rule I talked about right up at the top here, is there's no deadline. So that tells me, at least subconsciously, now I know as a marketing expert, I know what it tells me, but the regular consumer is not an advertising and marketing expert. And even subconsciously, he or she is thinking 50% off with no deadline. That tells me it's always 50% off, which means it's never 15% off. If you always discount the price by 15%, then that discounted price is always the price. So it's really not an offer at all. So you got to be careful of having no deadline. It's definitely no offer. No deadline, no offer. So you got to have a deadline here. And then as an added bonus, I'll let you know, I talk about this a lot, you want to add in a good reason why that's the deadline. Otherwise, it's not believable. And again, they can be thinking you do it all the time, or it's just because it could be even worse. It could be they're thinking it's because you're desperate and you really need money so bad that you're discounting your service. Or maybe it's because you think your service isn't good, so you're discounting it. So you can compete with someone who has a better service. You got to lower your price. All kinds of bad things happen when you just make an offer with no good reason why, no deadline. Not great. So please, Dale, I hope you're watching this or listening to it or reading it. Get a deadline on there. Hopefully get a good reason why. I have a feeling you're doing some other marketing and advertising with some other offers out there other than this 15% because you, for some reason, make a point with 2 asterisks. Again, for some reason, there's nothing here with 1 asterisk that I could find, but this one has 2 that says may not be combined with other offers. What other offers? I don't see any other offers here. I don't know, maybe you have them on your website or wherever they are, but that's a negative, and I wouldn't include that. I would make 1 offer in all your advertising and marketing. I do with all my businesses and all my customers and clients and patients that I help. I suggest use 1 offer. For Subway, that used to be the $5 footlong. That's it. They probably had 100 menu items. They could have made free cookies, discounted chips, a 5 foot long, a 6-inch sub, only a meatball sub. They could. Now they had 1 offer, $5 foot long. Boom, 1 offer. If you make 1 offer, then you don't have to add in this negative, also known as a weasel clause, where you weasel out of things by telling them, you may not do such and such. That's a negative. Why do that? Why throw a negative into your advertising and marketing? Leave them with a good, warm, happy feeling that I get from this whole card. I think that's Dale. I love the fact seeing Dale, and it's Dale. I'm going to get Dale. I'm going to get Dale's truck. He looks like he's been doing this for a while, so I have a feeling he knows what he's doing. I mean, I just like this a lot. Please don't give me any negative feeling by telling me what I may not do. That doesn't increase response, I'll tell you that. It might not decrease it. I have a feeling it will, but certainly won't increase it. Nobody's going to say, well, now I'll definitely call because I may not do such and such. That's going to make me call even more. Every single thing on your postcard or your letter or your social media post or your phone call or, again, whatever you're doing, your advertising and marketing, examine every single element of it. If it doesn't help you get more leads, get rid of it. Okay, here's another example on the other end. This is an offer that has a deadline, but the deadline's too long. So this is I'm guessing, I believe this is a franchise. This is a leaf filter gutter company, and I think this is a local franchisee of over the overall leaf filter company. One dead giveaway that this is not done by the local business owner is the indicia there, that this is coming out of Dallas, Texas, and we're here in Arizona. So clearly it's not a local thing. Either he's engaged a company, an expert like me, to make up the postcard for him, and they're mailing it from wherever they are, which in this case would happen to be Dallas, or it's something mailed by the leaf filter franchisor that's mailed and used for all the franchisees. But as usual, the stuff that these franchises give you to mail benefits them first, and then maybe it also benefits the franchisee. So in this case, you see their name and their logo is right at the top on both sides of the postcard. Well, of course, that's fantastic for the company. Again, like I said in the beginning, they're likely, if they're a franchisor, they got lots of franchises all over the country, they got money to get some warm and fuzzy feelings and get their name out of there and out there. And long after any individual franchisee fails and goes out of business, they have still managed to promote the overall franchise, Leaf Filter, with all their advertising and marketing, if they put that name and logo at the top. Don't do that. You need to use that space for something that'll get people to call you. The name Leaf Filter, well, in this case, sometimes, now let's see, that's a general rule. The exception here is if it's a national franchise that is so well known because of all their radio, advertising, TV, whatever advertising they do, that the name is so well known and engenders so much trust, like Roto-Rooter that I mentioned earlier. There's new movers to an area that'll move in to a new place. They say, I need a plumber to fix this toilet over here. And I don't know any of the local plumbers. And I don't know the whole area. And so I'm just going to call a trusted name that I've known for 100 years with their jingle in their ads called Roto-Rooter. That's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Boo, 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 boo. So I'm going to call them. So that's the only time that the name at the top of an ad might mean something, is if there's been so much money poured in to advertising and marketing to embed in people's minds, oh, that's a good choice. When I need gutter protection, leaf filter's the one. I'm not sure in this case that's true. I would use that space instead to put something there to get the call. But again, if you're using the template from the franchisor, it's likely you can't make changes like that. But here is the, oh, and again, by the way, they are, just like Dale, they have their senior and military discount. So it's 20% off in general, extra 10 if you're a senior or military. So that's why they say on here you can save up to 30% off. Very cool. What I do not like about it is this handwritten all caps. All caps, if you've ever, put those in a social media post or an email or something, it denotes yelling. So I'm thinking, why are you yelling at me? It's also not as easy to read as normally written words with capital and small letters. I mean, those are, of course, how we read. You would never see a book, I hope not, printed in all caps. That'd be very difficult to read. Somebody might read a few pages and they go, forget this. Like this, I know it's a short postcard, but still, you're making it difficult to read. Why would you do that? Why don't you make it as easy to read as possible? Like here, the date. See September up at the top? There. That's not all caps. It's pretty much the only thing on here. It's not all caps. Much easier to read, much more pleasant to read than this all cap stuff. Also, I guess my name and address was in normal writing with capital and small letters. But otherwise, the whole thing is all caps screaming at me, and then it's an ineffective deadline. So good for them that they have a deadline. This is valid until September 22nd. Today is July 22nd. So even if this arrived today, that's 2 months out. And why? I don't see the reason why. Why is that the deadline? Because it's contradictory to what you say here. You use the good old, hey, we're in your neighborhood. I can't read this backwards in the camera here, but we're installing in your neighborhood, and we wanted to provide you with an exclusive offer while we're in your area. So you're telling me that you're going to be in my area exactly 2 months, and that's it? That doesn't compute. I don't believe it. Doesn't make sense. So you've got a really bad reason why I've got 2 months. And second of all, like I said, I'm likely, if it's 2 months, I put this aside. Human nature is to put this aside and go, oh, I'll act before the deadline, and then things happen. Life happens. Things pile up. Where's that postcard? I don't know. Can't find it anymore. Or a smarter advertiser or marketer that does this similar thing, puts on gutters, sends me any kind of an offer, online, offline, in the mail, in person, you name it, whatever. They get that offer in front of me with a shorter deadline, and I act. And now you're out. And then I might find this a month later and go, oh yeah, I was going to take care of this. I forgot about it. Oh, and then I overpay. I paid more to the other guy. But the other guy had a shorter deadline. Again, not too short that, it's tomorrow. And I have to act tomorrow, but I think a week is plenty of time. I mean, if you're mailing a postcard locally, again, this one comes from Dallas, so you have to allow a little more time. But if you're mailing it locally, how long does it take to arrive in a mailbox of someone local when you're local and you mailed it local? 2-3 days at the most. Give them one more week from that. And for contracting like this, the way you can use a deadline is you can say you have to call and schedule your installation, your gutter installation, by next Friday in order to get this discount. But then you have up to a year to actually do the install. Okay, so there's another added bonus tip there. But again, there's a lot to this, and it can be complex. So I give simple, basic advice here on Direct Mail Monday or on every day on my audios, videos, blog posts, everything that I do. Go to thewildstrategy.com, send me an email, steve@stevesipress.com, send me a private message or post a comment. We can talk about it in a lot more detail. I'll have a lot of ideas that I can help you with. And one other thing here is what's valid it's a little confusing here. It says valid until September 22nd, but there's two different offers. There's the limited time offer, again, not very limited, 2 months, and not telling me why it's limited. Why is that limited? Because you're in my area? I'm just believing, by the way, it's not a good thing that I'm believing you're full of crap, that you're just using the old while we're in your area nonsense. You know, when it's for real, you know, it's believable. We have people here, they'll come knock on the door and say, this happened with a pest control guy, a bug control guy, you know, gets rid of the scorpions and the whatever around here. And he came by and he said, you know, we have 3 of your neighbors here that we come here every month. So I'm walking around to sign up a few more. So every time we come here, it's more efficient for us to do that. Now that's a good reason why. That's believable. Just to use the old, wow, we're in your area for 2 months. And then somehow on September 23rd, it's no longer valid because now you're no longer in my area, ever? Or what? It doesn't make any sense. But where was I? Oh yeah, the confusing what's valid until. So is the call us and get a free inspection, and then under that it says valid only until, so is the free inspection valid only until that date, and after that I got to pay for it? Or is the 20% plus the possible 10% off, is that only valid until that date? So why are you being confusing? Don't be confusing. You want to be crystal clear in your directions. Direct people what to do. Then you can get a response to what you're directing people to do. That's the definition of direct response marketing, and you must include an offer, something to respond to, and no offer, no deadline. Offer with too long a deadline weakens the offer. And there's a lot more to this, but let's leave it there. Oh yeah, there was one more thing that kind of stands out really glaringly, is the old no clog guarantee with no details. Just says no clog guarantee. So I have to figure it out. Does that mean if it ever clogs in the whole lifetime of my home, I get all my money back? If it clogs once, because there was a big storm and a lot of leaves blew around and it clogged up once, do I get all my money? That good for 10 years, 20 years, lifetime? Is it good for a month, a week? Does that mean the guarantee is if it does clog, you'll come out and get up on the ladder and unclog it for me? I mean, what does that mean, no clog guarantee? So you just say no clog guarantee. You don't even say call for details or go to the website for details. You just say something sounds good, no clog guarantee. Any guarantee sounds great and should increase response. But if you don't explain what the guarantee is, you're confusing people. And there's a saying in the world of all advertising and marketing and sales, a confused mind does nothing. In other words, a confused mind doesn't buy, doesn't call, doesn't click on the video, doesn't go to the website, doesn't open the email, doesn't further the conversation. Confused mind doesn't take action. Be crystal clear in your directions and give really good, enticing directions. This discount, this short a time, for this reason why, you've got to act now. Boom. All right, that'll do it for July 22nd, Direct Mail Monday, July 22nd, 2024. Thanks for being here today. I'll be back with you again tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Until then, head to my website, bwowstrategy.com, for some personal help. Send me an email, steve@stevesipress.com. Send me a personal message or a comment. Please also like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff so I can help more people, and the algorithms like all that. Thanks for being here today. I'll catch you tomorrow on Topical Tuesday.